He got stabbed in the back quite a bit, so now the gloves are off with 47. He doesn't have anything to lose in this, and so he's coming out bolder than ever. Tariffs are an idea that he's been talking about for, the better part of 30 or 40 years publicly. He's on record of doing that. He's not backing down on this, and the world needs to get a grip and understand that this is not going away. It's something he truly believes in.
From men winning women's sports to woke madness in Hollywood and leftist corruption, no topic is off limits when Chad Prather grabs the mic. He's host of the Chad Prather Show, a renowned musician and an unapologetic patriot, and he joins us now. Chad, it is great to see you. Hey, the tariff war that the left-wing media is attempting to portray as a war, but President Trump is doing the right thing, I believe. Do you sense panic among people? Instead of letting this play out and seeing which way it goes and giving President Trump time to see his vision come to fruition, we see panic setting in. Do you think at the end of the day, President Trump will be vindicated here?
Yeah, I think he will. I think we're already starting to see it happen in real time. Some people are already bending the knee. Countries are kind of coming to the table. I'll tell you where I think the panic comes in, Eric, and thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate that so much, man. And I tell you where I think that for so long as a country, we have been very comfortable. And we have kind of grown very lethargic, and we put profit margins over patriotism. And so what we're seeing is a lot of the companies, corporations, and countries out there, they thought Trump would back down from this. They thought that with a little volatility, he would see his approval ratings maybe dip. Actually, the opposite is what's happened, and Trump has been emboldened. I think in the first term, when he was 45, I think Trump maybe overestimated the morality, if you will, or at least the backbone or real conservatism of the established GOP there in Washington, D.C. He got stabbed in the back quite a bit, so now the gloves are off with 47. He doesn't have anything to lose in this, and so he's coming out bolder than ever. Tariffs are an idea that he's been talking about for, the better part of 30 or 40 years publicly. He's on record of doing that. He's not backing down on this, and the world needs to get a grip and understand that this is not going away. It's something he truly believes in.
By the way, you mentioned people essentially bending the knee, dozens of countries already. We've got a clip here from a White House economic advisor just this morning explaining how countries are lining up to do business and renegotiate tariffs. Let's take a look.
I think that right now we're managing a massive number of requests for negotiations. It's actually logistically quite challenging just to go through them. It's something that I've been spending a lot of the time this morning doing, because at NSC and NEC, what we have to do is prioritize the meetings for the president, and there are so many to go through that, we're actually getting ready to present a plan for him on, who and when. But yeah, he obviously prioritizes two of our closest allies and trading partners, Japan and Korea, and the word out of those conversations was really positive, and positive really for American workers, American farmers. There are a heck of a lot of concessions on the table.
Chad, President Trump has leverage, and he's not afraid to use it. And imagine that, strong American leadership, and people are recoiling from that. He's getting the job done. He's putting American workers first. It's refreshing.
It sure is a drastic difference from the last 4 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the last 4 years, America has been walked on. We've been bullied. The global community, they didn't expect any retaliation from the Biden administration because there was none to be given. We finally have a backbone again. And I will say this, Trump didn't leave any stone unturned. I mean, he's putting tariffs on uninhabited islands that are under Australian rule so that people can't even go in and label something as being exported from a certain place that happened to be exempt from the tariffs. Trump this is a sweeping thing, and he means it when he says it. He believes fully that it's going to work. Look, we've got to even the playing field. We got to get back to what's become a bad word, and that's American exceptionalism and America first. We've talked for years about buying American and buying local and buying from small companies, and now when the pressure's on to actually do that, I personally, Eric, I'm willing to invest more to see America in the long run be great again in terms of its economic power. And so this is where we are. I keep telling my audience, Let's talk about this in 6 months. I don't think we're going to have to wait 6 months, but let's see where we are in 6 months. Let's just see where the chips fall, and let's give it a little bit of time to see if it works.
Yeah, Chad, well said and wise advice. About a minute left before the break, then we will bring you right back. Part of this economic strategy, okay, we've been shipping jobs overseas, letting countries take advantage of us, but also allowing workers and illegally to flood into this country. It seems to me the invasion is over and the border is now closed. How big of an economic benefit will that be, a secure border?
Well, I'll tell you, the great economist Milton Friedman, he said you can have one of two things for a period of time. You can have an open border, or you can have a welfare system, but you can't have both. You will crash an economy and you'll crash a country if you try to have an open border and a welfare system. We saw that firsthand over the last 4 years. We tried to operate with both, and we saw the crashing economy and what was going to. I mean, it was a massive dip in the middle of the Biden administration. We saw the inflation go through the roof. Again, we've got to get back to America first. Closing the border. I love what the president said in his address to the joint Congress when he said, you didn't need another bill, you need a better president. And that's exactly what we got. Now the border's closed 96, 97%. He took care of that. And I think the tariffs are going to reflect the same thing. We might be uncomfortable for a minute with some things, and there might be some things that hurt the political correct feelings that are out there, but I'm okay with that because I think we're getting some things done, and this is true American boldness.
Part of that is calling out the gender madness. Now, we recently had, I think over the weekend it was, in the UK, there was a pool championship, 2 pool players, and it was dudes dressed as women who made the finals of this pool championship. You had a lot to say about this on your show. Tell us more about this.
It's peak insanity, Eric. Like this, we knew this was coming, right? We knew this is where we were going to get to, that eventually there would just be an abolishment of women in their own sport. And this is a perfect example of what's happening in the UK with this pool tournament. You have 2 guys that aren't even really well disguised, pretending to be women, playing pool. This eradication, I don't even know where. I mean, what happened to the Me Too movement? I thought they stood for something. I thought they were out there raising their fists and carrying their posters and wearing their hats and doing their parades in the name of, protecting women. This is the absolute opposite of that. Women are anything but protected. And again, you have to sit back. You have to laugh at it a little bit, although it's such a sad, sad situation. My friend Riley Gaines, she posted about that. She said, this is a real life episode of South Park. You can't make this up. So to me, and again, my affinity is in the comedy world. You have to ridicule it and mock it, or it's never going to get any better.
No, so true. And a man was recently inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame, Chad, for starting transgender studies. He's being honored for this. Hey, protests over the weekend, and one of the things they're protesting for was for the transgender movement, et cetera, protests against President Trump. These protests were a huge fizzle. We'll talk about that with you in a minute. But I want you to take a look at this clip real quick from CNN, of all places, saying that, look, President Trump is on the rise and his policies are working according to the American people. Let's take a quick look.
I think there was this concern among some folks that Donald Trump would come in for a second term and kind of be a lame duck. He ain't no lame duck. If anything, he's a soaring eagle. What am I talking about here? Let's talk about Trump executive orders in 2025. He's already signed 111 so far. That is the most at this point in a presidency in at least 100 years. In fact, it's the most in any single year, and we're only in April, since Harry S. Truman in the early 1950s. The bottom line is, whether you like Trump or you don't like him, you can't say that he's come in and not try to deliver on what he at least believes was his promises on the campaign trail, and he's doing so in historic fashion.
Amen. And Chad, that's CNN. And one of those executive orders President Trump signed right away on day one was declaring that there are only 2 genders, male and female. Imagine that. President Trump is a wrecking ball in a wonderful way, and he's turning this country back around.
Yeah, he is. And you're seeing certain renegade cities like Portland, Oregon, that are trying to push back against that. The governor of Maine tried for just a minute. and eventually she caved to the pressure as well. Listen, these are 80-20 issues. 80 million Americans voted for what Trump is doing. They want a man of action. The guy doesn't sleep. I don't know how in the world he makes it and does it. I mean, he's so full of energy. I was at the White House just recently. I was in the Oval Office. He's so full of energy. I mean, he is just a powerhouse dynamo. And I'm excited to see him back in that place doing what he's doing. I voted for this.
He is a machine, without a doubt. And Chad, you are too. About a minute left. What can we look for from you? How can we find the Chad Prather Show? And what's next for you? I know you've got a lot going on.
I do. In the mornings, I took over for Graham Allen. He's doing a project in D.C. at the Pentagon, doing the Dear America show every morning, Monday through Thursday. Then in the afternoons at 2/1 Central, we're doing the Chad Prather Show. We're on Rumble. We're on YouTube, all the places you find your podcast. So we welcome everybody to jump on Rumble with us and get in the live chat. It's a good time.
Yeah, Chad, great stuff. Folks, again, follow him on X across social media. Chad, about 30 seconds left. You are optimistic about the direction we're heading. Like you said, maybe some short-term pain with tariffs, but we're on the right track, it seems, under President Trump's leadership.
Oh, yeah. You know, you got to listen. God's in control. Jesus is on the throne, and I believe that he's unimpeachable and he's not subject to the ballot or the assassin's bullet. And he's directing by God's providential hand our country. And I think we're in good hands right now.
Amen. Chad, well said as always, folks. Check him out on the Chad Prather Show. Chad, God bless. Keep up the great work, my friend. We'll see you again soon. Stakelbeck Tonight, my all-new nightly series on current events through a bold biblical lens. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching, and God bless.